Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Elena and today I'm sharing with you my bullet journal spreadsheet for the month of August. So this month's theme was mermaids, and this was heavily inspired by another YouTuber. I'll leave the video linked down below for her video, and the image that I'm tracing over on my front page is actually very close and very inspired to one of the ones she drawn for one of her spreadsheets, so definitely go check out her video. So all I'm doing here is I'm going over the images that I've previously drawn with my micron pens on a 0.45 millimeters point, and I use a 0.25 millimeters point to go over finer details such as facial expressions and a few details on their mermaid tails and dressings. I'm then decorating and bringing the whole page together with some geometric patterns. Now my bullet journal's got very fine pages, so I need to be careful, but I can get away with some watercoloring. I just can't put too much water and go too heavy on the watering, so most of it is not very well blended. The color I'm using here is an ultramarine deep blue, and it's beautiful, and that lighter blue that you're seeing me using is just a watered down version of it. I'm going to be using this same blue for the rest of the bullet journal, so you'll be seeing a lot of this happening. Then I'm going over some of it with my golden watercolors. These are the pearl colors from Colero, and they're absolutely breathtaking. They reflect the light so beautifully, and they're just fantastic. And I'm also using these same watercolors in gold to go over the font and lettering that I used for the word August. After that, I'm also going to be going over some of the lines with my micron pens again, because this golden watercolor is very pigmented and definitely erases any lines that you've done before. And that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing for my front page. Next, you are going to see me set up my monthly log. It's essentially a calendar with big cases to write down all of my month appointments. I used to have this on the same page as my front page, but I found it that I didn't have enough space to write down everything I needed. So this month I thought I'd try to give myself 2 full pages. That way I can also decorate it a bit better. So again, I'm just tracing over a drawing that I've drawn previously on with a pencil, and I am then shading it with that ultramarine color and going over the letters and the border for the whole page on my gold watercolors. Then after that, my camera kind of skipped the next page and me setting up this one, but this is my money tracker, and this is where I essentially mark down all of the spendings I've had, all of my bills, and all of the hours I have worked this week, so I have a good idea of where my money is going. After that, I've got my sleep tracker. I like to track how long I slept for, how well that sleep felt, and what were the hours. I struggle with insomnia, so I struggle with keeping a steady sleep throughout the month, so I just like to be aware of it. It's very simple, nothing too fancy. The page right next to it, I'm actually not going to trace over or do anything to it, because the drawing I put in there I'm not too happy with, but it's essentially my quotes page. It's where I write down any quotes that I see throughout the month that really call out to me. So after that, I've got my mental health trackers. So I usually have this nice drawing that I do normally related to the theme, and I then color it throughout the year, throughout the month, and then each color corresponds to a certain mood, so mad, happy, sad, anxious, etc. And it's just a good way to keep a loose track of how your mood's been throughout the month. But this month I've also decided to include a how are you feeling section, which is essentially writing like a line a day in my own words, just like the mood for that. So it could be anything from screw this shit, what on earth was today to I was really over the moon today, anything of that sort. So again, I'm just tracing over the pre-drawing that I was there, and then going over with some blue and filling out all the gaps and everything, and then writing the header with my gold mark, and then going over it with my watercolors just to make it more shiny. So next I went back to my sleep tracker. Now that my watercolor was dry, I could then write the title of the page on top of it with my gold marker. You can't really see it very well on camera, but it does shine a lot in person. Then my next spread is my daily and hobbies trackers, and I like to track a certain set of activities that I do on a regular basis. They don't all necessarily need to be done every day, but they are regular enough that I like to know when was the last time I did it, so I don't leave it out for too long. And what I track on my daily tracker is mostly exercise, stretching, watering the plants both outdoors and indoors, singing and monologues, because for my acting I do want to keep my training up to speed. Then my YouTube tracking, so filming, vlogging, editing and posting. Then I've got my actual daily trackers, which is drinking 2 liters of water and eating at least 3 pieces of fruit a day. And then I've got my cleaning trackers, so clean the toilet, clean the flat, vacuum, change the bed sheets, etc. Then for my hobby trackers, it's just a set of activities that I enjoy doing regularly, and I like to know like how often I've done them during the month. And so I've got gardening, SFX and face painting, drawing and painting, sewing, writing, reading, yoga, meditation, journaling, Skillshare and puzzles. So they're not like, you can have any activities here, these are just the ones I particularly like to do myself. I decided to leave this, to write all of these down with my micron pen, just because I want to go over every other line with a faint blue to kind of separate each line and make it easier for me when I'm noting down every day. So it's just going out on a pattern of blue, white, blue, white, blue out throughout. So all I'm doing here now is popping out my watercolors and filling in with that deep blue, and then I'm going to be going over each line with a watered down version of this deep blue. Next is my YouTube spreadsheets, and that is my YouTube planner. So usually I write down on the left hand side all of the weeks, and on each week I write down what video I've posted on what day, just so I can be a bit more aware and try and be a bit more consistent on how often I upload to my YouTube channel. It's a very simple layout. And then on my right hand side I've got the videos list. This is simply a list of videos that I want to make. They might not all go up this month, but it's nice to have like different options in case I skip a weekly vlog or something and I need something to post on that week. So I've separated these on a recorded, edited, posted and thumbnail. That way I can track the progress on each video and know where I'm standing, so I don't end up recording the same video twice or skipping over the thumbnail completely. Then after that I've got my brain dump, my bullet journal spread and theme ideas, and my goals for the month. Now this is kind of like a catch-all pages. It's just all of the other bits that I didn't really want to group out with anything else. And again, I'm just tracing out the drawing I've done previously on a pencil, and because this drawing was so centered in the page and I wanted to be able to write on either side, I didn't want to color with the blue around the image, so instead I decided to color the heading of the pages with that deep blue, and then I wrote all of the titles with my golden watercolors. It doesn't show very well on camera, but I promise you the contrast between the two is just breathtaking. What I'm doing here is I'm putting a piece of paper in between so it doesn't bleed out, and pressing down because my pages are starting to crinkle with the amount of water I'm putting in. Whilst I wait for that to dry, I went down to my mental health spread and I just went over the "How are you feeling today" title with my micro pen because I thought it was a bit washed out with all of the strong blues in that page. So whilst that dries, I also went back to the second spread that my camera kindly decided to cut off, and coloured in the mermaid that I had traced over already with my micro pens. Now this mermaid, this particular drawing, I took inspiration from a scene from the Little Mermaid film, so I thought it was quite appropriate to just paint it with the same colours. And so I'm trying to match my watercolors as close as I can to the color palette in the actual movie. I'm not the best at color matching, so I'm trying like my best. Plus at this point it was pretty late and I was exhausted, so I'm not even entirely sure it got anywhere close to it. And then what I'm doing is going over the frame with my gold watercolors, and I'm going to leave the backdrop white so it creates a contrast between the mermaid and everything else. You can't see it, but I've actually already written down the titles for this page. So on my left hand side I've got my to-do list and my projects for the month, and then on my right hand side I've got notes, events and auditions for this month. So going back to my catch-all section, now that the watercolors have dried, I am writing down all of the titles. So on my left hand side I've got my brain dump. This is basically like anything I think of during the month, I write it down so that I don't have to keep reminding myself constantly, and I leave my brain open to be able to do other stuff. And then on my right hand side I've got my bullet journal theme ideas and spread ideas for the following month, and my goals for this month as well. Now I decided on this page that it was needing some colour, so I thought I'd paint the mermaid as Ariel again. And then I decided to flip through the whole journal and make sure that I didn't feel like painting all of the other mermaids, but I honestly do like the contrast between the white mermaid in 2D and a deep blue, so I just left it. So for my final spread, I've got my weekly vlogs. Again, my weekly vlogs, sorry. And again, this is like a new spread that I'm putting on. And so I'm once more just outlining the drawing I already had and colouring with the deep blue. Now because this was such a large area to cover with that deep blue, I thought it wise to just go in 2 layers so I wouldn't water the paper too much and over saturated it. So this is what you see me doing, and then I traced out the title with my golden watercolors. You don't actually see me setting up the weeks because I just forgot to film that bit, but you'll see it now on my flip through. Enjoy! So this is the final result for my August spreadsheet for my personal bullet journal. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some inspiration to do your own thing, and I hope to see you again on my next video. Bye! Also, if you haven't already and you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, please do subscribe and share and comment and like down below. It is a small YouTuber, it helps millions. So yes.